guys, it's Beth. I know it's been a really long time, but I am back, and today I would like to do a whole bunch of meal prep with you. I have a bunch of recipes here that I'm going to try to get through. It is about 5 o'clock, a little after, so we have a lot of work to do before it gets dark outside, and I still have to get dinner on, so hopefully we can get all this stuff done today. The first thing that I want to get started on is I want to get some homemade barbecue sauce simmering on the stove because I do want to make some barbecue meatballs for tonight, and I'm also going to make enough to have for a freezer meal. So I want to get that started because it does have to simmer for a little bit, and then we will start on our meatball mixture. And then I also have some chicken marinades that I want to get done, and I have a lot of onions that need processed, so we'll probably be cutting a lot of onions and saving some for freezer. And then I also want to try to dehydrate some, so we will see how that goes in our oven. I do not have a dehydrator, but I will try to dehydrate them in the oven. And then I have a few more things of like pumpkin oatmeal. I want to do a baked oatmeal, and then also quite a few chicken marinades to go in the freezer as well. So we will try to get all this done, but I'm gonna get started on this barbecue sauce. Okay, so this is not my barbecue sauce recipe, but if you're interested, I will have it linked down in the description, so you can make this if you want to as well. But I'm just going to put all my ingredients in my Dutch oven and get it simmering on the stove. Okay, the first ingredient, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of tomato ketchup. And then we need 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. Then we need 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. ¾ cup light packed brown sugar. Okay, 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. One tablespoon of paprika. I just have smoked paprika here, but I think it will taste even better, give it that smoky flavor. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. Okay, and then the last thing, or nope, second to last thing is we have 1 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm just gonna eyeball that. I also need some minced garlic cloves. I just minced these garlic cloves up, so I'm just going to put those in here. Okay. And then the last thing it says we need 1/2 cup of water, so I will add that. 1/2 cup of water. Okay, then we just combine all of these ingredients and we let it simmer on the stove for 30 minutes. Okay, so I forgot that I was actually tripling this recipe, and I only did enough for 1 batch. So I went ahead and doubled everything to make it tripled. So we have everything we need in here now, and then we're gonna let this simmer for 30 minutes because I wanted some extra because I wanna put them in some mason jars and freeze them. So we have homemade barbecue sauce that we can use for any extra dish. You know, if we want a barbecue meatloaf, or we can also keep a pint of it in our refrigerator and use for dipping barbecue sauce. Okay, in this bowl I have 3 pounds of ground beef that we just bought at the store, and this is going to be our meatballs. So I am tripling this recipe. Hopefully we will have some for dinner tonight and then some to freeze. But to this, I am going to add some sweet potato. I probably only need about a good handful of that. And then I will save the rest of this. I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and get all the air out, and I will stick that in my freezer so we have some frozen sweet potato whenever we need this again. I'm also going to be adding 3/4 cup of oats, which I did triple this, so you would only need a 1/4 cup if you were just doing this one time. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then for our seasonings, I've just got some salt. I'm not going to measure anything out. I just eyeball it with what I think will be good. Salt, pepper, onion powder. Garlic powder. And oregano. And then I'm also going to add in some chopped spinach, which I just keep a bag of this in my freezer. I just buy a huge tub of it, especially when it's on sale. Put this in a Ziploc bag and then I freeze it. And then once it's frozen, you can just take your hands and just squish it, and it makes it the perfect, like, tiny little consistency. And I add that to pretty much everything: scrambled eggs, meatballs, meatloaf, anything really. Okay, and this is kind of what the mixture looks like, and then I'm just going to stick that. Oh, I also need eggs. So I will do an egg per pound. So we have 3 pounds in there, so I'll do 3 eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixing. Just on low for right now until it gets really good and mixed. And while that's mixing, I'm gonna put this in a Ziploc bag and clean up this space.
You know what?
Don't forget to date your freezer bag. Once the mixture is mixed together, I'm going to dump it out and separate it into 3 portions. I did get enough to make a meatloaf, which I thought was really fun. I didn't want them all to be meatballs, so something a little different. So I got a meatloaf pan, and then I got 2 pans of meatballs. And I just take my cookie scoop to portion those out to make sure they're all relatively even, and then I will take my hands and shape those into the meatball shape. Once those are done, I do get the meatballs in the oven with some barbecue sauce, and then the other 2 I'm going to double wrap in foil and label those and put those in the freezer. Okay, I have the first batch of meatballs in the oven, and I got the rest put in the freezer. I also have this leftover barbecue sauce, and I have some fresh washed pint jars over there. I'm going to package this up and get it in the freezer as well. Okay, so I have all of these filled up. It looks like we got 5 pint jars, which is really amazing. I have to let these completely cool before I put a lid on them. I do have the lid the metal lid that came with it, but then I also have these plastic lids, which is really good for the freezer, and they're reusable. And they just twist on. You want to leave at least a 1/2 inch at least of headspace when you freeze something in a jar, because liquid does expand once it's frozen. So you just want to make sure to do that, but you have to let these completely cool, which will take a while. I'm going to let these sit out probably about an hour on the counter, and then I will lid them up and I will put them in the fridge until they completely cool, and then put them in the freezer. So I had put some rice. So we had put some rice and broccoli on the stove for our meatballs tonight, and my rice had overfilled, so overboiled, so that's gonna be really fun to clean up. But our meatballs timer just went off, so they are done. I'm gonna check the temperature, and I had just did some dishes, so our dishes will be clean for after dinner when we want to start on our next meal prep. After dinner, I decided to pick up the living room really quickly, but I also wanted to show you our brand new fireplace. My husband built this by hand, and I am so proud of him. I absolutely love it, and it brings so much comfort to our home. Okay, now I'm going to get started on our pumpkin baked oatmeal. This is not my recipe either, so I will definitely have that listed down in the description box below as well. I have a greased, it called for an 8x8, but I don't have an 8x8. It just had this pie dish, so I'm going to use it instead. It's just a 9-inch pie dish. I have it greased with some olive oil spray, and then I have my oven heating up to 375 degrees. My daughter's trying to help, but I'm gonna get started on adding these ingredients in and getting this in the oven. Okay, the first thing we need is 2 cups of rolled oats. So I have those right here. I tried to get all my ingredients set out beforehand. It just makes it a lot easier to have everything, and I'm not running around trying to find what I need. I need 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. I love the smell of pumpkin pie spice. It smells so good. I have so many cans of pumpkin in my cabinet that I was looking for some pumpkin recipes, and I came across this. I was also needing something for breakfast, and so then I came across this pumpkin oatmeal recipe, and I was like, this is absolutely perfect, and everybody in my family loves pumpkin, so this will be a winner, I hope. I haven't tried it, but 2 teaspoons pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon baking powder. This is a new thing of baking powder that we just got, and it is aluminum free, which I was excited about. So we need 1 teaspoon baking powder. And then we need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna eyeball that. And then 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Let me get my can opener. Okay, so I still have quite a bit left here in my can. So I think I will just wrap this up with some foil on the top and save this in my refrigerator to use in a different recipe. I can add it to pretty much anything, muffins, cookies, anything good, but it will definitely be used. It will not be thrown away. So get that scraped off there, and then we need 1 1/4 cup of milk. So I'll put that right here. Okay. There is 1 1/4 cup of milk. and then 2 large eggs, but I'm gonna wait on those. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other ingredients. So 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Which I think you were supposed to mix your dry ingredients together first and then do your wet ingredients, but I'm mixing it all together at once. So hopefully it'll all turn out okay. I think it will. But now we need 1/3 cup of maple syrup, or you could use honey if you wanted, but I don't have any honey on hand, so we're just gonna use 1/3 cup of maple syrup. There's that. Okay, and that was the last of that. And then my eggs. Okay, so we have everything added in here, so I'm just gonna get this really good and mixed up. You should have, it did say you should do your dry ingredients first and then do your wet ingredients, but I put everything in the bowl, so I'm sure it'll turn. Sorry about that. My SD card got full on memory, so my husband had to clean it off really quick, but we are back. I did get it all mixed together, and it looks and smells so, so good. I am so excited to try this, but we're gonna get this put in the oven now. I do have the oven heated to 375, and it'll go in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until it is set. So we will just keep checking it. I didn't have an 8x8, so I hope that this will work the same. I'll just keep checking it to make sure that it is done. I'll try to flatten it out as best as I can to make it even. Oh my gosh, this smells like a pumpkin pie. It smells so good. Okay, so we'll set our timer for 30 minutes and we will check it when it gets done. Okay, so we just made smoothies. I made a couple extra bags. We had a bad banana I was not able to use, and so that was accounting for 2 of them, and then an extra one. These have today's date on them, but they will not go to waste. I will still use them. I'll probably use these to pack Sean's lunch for tomorrow, or for something else. I'll just mark the date out. I also had 1 banana left over, so we'll just eat this plain tomorrow. It's almost on its way out, so it needs to be ate soon. And then I was able to get 8 smoothie packs done, which I'm super excited about. Sawyer and I absolutely love smoothies. We have at least one a day, but I have some mango and pineapple ones and some blueberries and raspberry ones, and all of them have banana, spinach, and some kale in it. That's why I love these, because you get your vegetables in and your fruit, and it's all in one, and it's sweet. She loves it, so definitely a healthy thing, and we love to drink those. So I will get these in the freezer, and our pumpkin oatmeal is still baking, so we will check on that and see how much longer it has. I have 2 of these yellow onion bags, but for right now I'm just going to process one of them. I'm going to get all of these cut up, and I'd really like to dehydrate them overnight in the oven to see if I can make my own onion powder, but we're going to see how that goes. I've never done it before, and then I also want to get some diced up to freeze as well. So we're going to do some for dehydrating. I have a silicone mat here on a baking sheet, and then dice them up for freezing. These onions are so strong. They are organic yellow onions from Walmart, and my eyes burn so much every time. I am literally bawling. But for my baking sheet, I'm just gonna try to slice these as thinly as possible, if I can see from crying. So these bags that I accidentally did are actually gonna come in handy because I'm gonna put 1 onion per bag, so then I know I might do 2 onions per bag. Not sure, but 1 or 2 onions per bag, and I know that they were chopped up today. So these actually came in handy. Okay, so these are bugging me so bad. My husband's going to finish them for me because I cannot. But we're gonna do 1 onion per bag, and I'm just gonna freeze them. I'm only gonna do 1 tray of onions to dehydrate. I know that's not gonna get me a lot, but I just wanna test it out and just make sure that it is going to work in the oven, and then I can do multiple trays at one time and get an abundance so I can try out that onion powder. But I just wanna test it out. So we're only gonna do 1 tray right now, and then my husband's gonna chop the rest of these for me. Okay, so we finally got done with all of those onions. Sean and I had to switch back and forth a few times. They burned our eyes so bad. My eyes are still burning. So if you have any suggestions on what would make that better, I'd really appreciate it. And then now I'm gonna work on these chicken marinades. I have 3 bags here. I have a chicken teriyaki, I have a lemon chicken, and a barbecue chicken. They all have, I went ahead and put the chicken breast in each of them, and then we'll get started on their marinades. Okay, the first one that I'm going to work on is going to be this chicken teriyaki. Let's see. I printed these marinades off. I can leave them in the description box below as well. But the teriyaki, so we have our boneless, skinless chicken breast, and then we need to get out our ingredients. I am now working on the chicken marinades. This one is the chicken teriyaki, and this was so good. If you're interested, I will have all these marinades listed down in the description box below, but I was really impressed with this chicken teriyaki marinade. My husband had 2 servings of it when we made it for dinner. He absolutely loved it as well. I definitely recommend trying this one out. We also get a lemon one, which I did not have any fresh lemon or lemon juice on hand, so I made sure to make a notation on the bag to add that in when I go to cook it. I'll just add that lemon juice in. And then we also get a barbecue chicken one, which I use a jar of that barbecue sauce we just made together today, and I have an easy barbecue chicken ready to go. And I can cook that in Instant Pot, crock pot, oven, any way that we want to, but it just makes it so easy. And I really hope this video gave you guys some ideas for your meal planning. I really appreciate you spending your time with me and hanging out. I love making these videos, so if you liked it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I really cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.